Now, the economy, I do believe, could very well be on the brink of collapse. With job market declines, retail sector struggles, and surging inflation, this is all despite government claims of prosperity. Now, job openings, they have absolutely plummeted, particularly in areas of healthcare, government, and manufacturing, with over 78,000 manufacturing jobs lost in the last 3 months alone, and 85,000 in the past 6 months. Now, thousands of stores have been closing. We've seen major retailers like Party City and Family Dollar nearing bankruptcy, and this only reflects widespread economic devastation. Now, the rising costs of essential goods like food and housing, this is absolutely straining household budgets, forcing a lot of Americans to cut back on necessities. Now, unfortunately, I do think the government has downplayed this crisis, and the signs of an impending collapse are everywhere. Yet the government continues to paint a rosy picture of prosperity, and that is just not true. The truth, however, is a lot grimmer than official reports would have us believe. And we all know, guys, that the data never lies. And the numbers reveal an economy that is teetering on the edge of disaster. Now, this has me asking myself, have we, the American people, been misled? Because the job market, which was once a pillar of stability, is now crumbling. And the number of job openings in the U.S., it has plummeted to levels not seen in decades. In the retail sector, as I just mentioned, it's in a total state of freefall. This is not the picture of a thriving economy. It is the reality of a nation in decline. Now, inflation, always an important topic to touch on. This has been touted as having been under control. Well, once again, inflation is surging. And a recent survey found that over 1/3 of U.S. households have had to reduce spending in order to afford their energy bills. This is not the sign of a healthy economy. Now, the government's response to all of this, it's been interesting to say the least. Because instead of addressing the root causes of the problem, I think that they've really downplayed the severity of it all. And the truth is that we are in the midst of an economic downturn. And the situation is getting worse and worse. And the situation is getting worse and worse. And the situation is getting worse and worse.
That's a weird looking devil. But Shalom, first and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone and rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the whole elect. Knows in this gospel, broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the spirit. It says at the brink of collapse, as you see this guy here, man, I don't even have a name for him. Not even trying to be funny at this point. But basically, he was going into how at the brinks of collapse on how the U.S. dollar is pretty much at the end of his rope. And they got this thing. Matter of fact, this is an article, and I'm actually supposed to be doing like a little mini series on it. Give me 1 second, Baba Kush. Let's go here. Let me find it. Where we at? Oh, shit. Oh, here we go. Bingo. How 2025 will collapse by 2025. And really, we've been in a collapse. Okay, this place has been collapsing since the Apollo space missions. All right, after World War II, and then Apollo space, I think in 1969 is when he saw a lot about the moon landing. But ever since then, America has been in a rapid decline. But we know that empires they don't collapse in days. It's a over time, gradual. Okay, and right now we're pretty much at the end of this collapse when things are getting ready to fall and they're gonna implement that new MOTB system. But throughout this article, it was always going into like the politics and how the economy is declining because of the debt. Like they're adding literally $4.5 trillion of debt every so often, man. All right. And the fact that they're in a trade war with the Chinese, China is a big buyer of American debt. So when they started dumping dollars, then you have what they call inflation. So, like I said, it's oil shock scenario 2025. The United States remains so dependent upon foreign oil that few adverse developments in the global energy market in 2025 spark an oil shock. But by comparison, it makes the 1973 oil shock, when price quadrupled in just months, look like the proverbial molehill. It says, angered at the dollar's plummeting value, OPEC oil ministers, and this is back in 2010, so this is over 15 years ago, meeting in Riyadh demanding future energy payments in basket of yen, yuan, and the euros. Like right now, Europe is collapsing because of the whole policies of America, man. So Russia is basically cutting off supply and energy to certain European countries now, man. All right. Also out there in Canada, this guy Trudeau, I think that's how you pronounce his name, is pretty much resigning now, man. And they're talking about basically Canada is like in a free fall, which is a prominent member of NATO, which stands for National Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is a power of ally or partner of America, man. So these Western hegemonies are falling rapidly. Okay, even though they're not going to come out and tell you directly in the news, oh yeah, we're expecting an economic collapse. This shit is through. Especially they in the brink of war. Well, the third war has started. But eventually, like I said, people gonna wake up and try to go to their bank accounts, and they're not gonna be able to get the money out, and that's when it's gonna be all hell in the streets of America, when people can't get their bread in circuses. All right, so let's go here. I looked this up. It says job losses at European car part suppliers more than double in 2024. More than 30,000 jobs have been cut across the industry. It says job creation has slowed, and there have been more than 58,000 net job losses across the industry. Wow. I remember in October, I believe they only added, or I think it was only like 12,000 jobs that was added for the month of October, which is pretty bad. It says 9 in 10 Illinois job losses in November were tied to business closures. Illinois companies announced 1,176 mass layoffs in November, with nearly 9 in 10 jobs cut resulting from business closings. The highest concentration of Illinois' November job losses of 361 of the 1,176 layoffs hit Chicago after 4 companies closed, man. Okay, so this is literally like a crisis, man. Okay, they're not telling people about it, but people ain't got no money like that. Okay, credit card debt or withdrawals have hit $46 billion, man. Okay, $46 billion in credit card debt. How the hell people are going to pay that back? Because everybody is taking out credit card loans or credit loans because they don't have what they call disposable income anymore, because the price of food is high. Rent is constantly going up. Insurance is going up. Car payments have went up. All types of shit. And people are feeling the crunch. Even with these new developments that they're building, like with these new apartments and houses, can't nobody afford to live in them, man. Like it was something that came out in China, that they were building up all these high rises out there in China, in different cities in China, and yet people couldn't afford to live in them. And it's the same thing that's happening in Babylon, the empty real estate. Like the downtown marketplaces, they're empty. 35% retail space available because can't nobody afford the outrageous rents. I remember I went to a holistic doctor out in this place called Shawnee. I would just, going out there to just get checked out. And I went out there, and it was like a village. Like if you brothers are familiar with like those little, they look like they're doctor's office, but they're built like little villages, like old like Indian style villages. Pretty modern, pretty nice. But I went in there, and it was like a whole acreage just empty. Like it was like literally like maybe 2 offices in this whole land palace. I'm just like, where the hell everybody at? They're like, well, after the pandemic came and left, they was like, well, a lot of people decided to not come back to work, or they stayed to work from home. In the back of my mind, I'm like, that's cap. I'm like, motherfuckers got laid off. They lost their jobs because a lot of jobs are being outsourced, man. Like you got this guy Trump talking about, we got to bring back jobs to America. You ain't gonna bring no jobs back to America, man. Okay, the labor force is decreasing. All right, people ain't working like that no more. People they're not able, and the money is being devalued. So nobody's gonna work for pennies on a dollar no more. This is why companies like Apple, Microsoft, they doing a lot of outsourcing and hiring like a lot of East Indian people and a lot of these migrants and shit like that, because you can pay them $30 a month. Like an article came out maybe 4 years ago on how this guy Steve Jobs, which is like he's kind of like the face behind Apple and shit like that, even though he's a plant. But Steve Jobs, and how they was complaining about the Apple CEOs and how they was making billions of dollars, but yet they're only paying their engineers $39 a month to make these high-tech phones and shit like that, and got them working in sweat factories. So people ain't really buying into it anymore. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's go to this article here. Let's see here. Service no longer required. Which jobs are most at risk? This is all on X and Twitter. It says U.S. labor market is shifting. Here are the projected bigger job losses. Cashiers, 348,100 cashiers, because they're automating it. They're doing everything through automation means, like autonomous means, meaning that robots and stuff like that. Like back in the day, you go to McDonald's, you may have like 4 or 5 cashiers that take your order, and then you get your food out promptly. But now you may have one cashier, and that one cashier may work the front desk, and she may work the drive-through at the same time. You may have 1 or 2 cooks in the back and a stocker. So literally the stores are short-staffed because they're dealing with all this computer technology now. So that's taking away a lot of people's jobs. And on top of that, computers don't steal shit. Like it was a video that came out, I think around Black Friday. This one Jake chick, she basically opened up the cash register and she was stealing money out of it. And then they had an interrogation room and shit. They was like, well, we got you on camera. So she couldn't lie about it. She was like, well, can I see the camera? Like, bitch, you stole the money. And then she threw a big fit. But see, that's the reason why they gonna start cutting jobs too, man. Because they fucking robots, they don't steal shit. Okay, they don't steal shit to go. You ain't gonna see no damn no robot stealing money and coins just to go get a damn eyelashes done or get the fake baby hair. Okay, so they not dealing with that. But it says secretaries, administrative assistants, 235,900, office clerks, 175,400, customer service reps, 162,700 customer service reps. Automation and changing demands are reshaping industries. See? So here you go. Service jobs required, which most jobs are at risk. And sooner or later, all these things are going to be pretty much autonomous. Or automation, not autonomous, automation. Salakia. So, yep, let's get a couple of precepts. Wasn't going to be a long lesson, but this is the times we living in. Party City, they're pretty much shutting down. I think it was another one, Party City, and you got what some call, was it Big Lots? I think it was Big Lots. And I've never known about Big Lot stores until I moved to Missouri. But in Chicago, I don't think we had Big Lot stores out there. We had like Kmart and all that other shit, which Kmart is pretty national, but even Kmart, they're done. I think they closed down the last Sears store not too long ago, and all the Payless shoe stores, like Paylesses were common. Like you go to a mall, you have Foot Locker in there, you have a Payless shoe stores. And they used to always make jokes on people that got Payless shoes, like they didn't have no grip on the bottom of them. But hey, all of us shopped at Payless at one point in time. All right, whether it was to get some dress shoes or some shoes to kind of just do what you got to do in. But other than that, those stores are gone, man. Okay. So this is Isaiah 19, and I'm going to start at verse 14. It says, for Yahweh have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to earn every work thereof as a drunken man that's staggering in his vomit. So everything from your top CEO positions all the way down to your common Uber taxi driver, these jobs are getting ready to be cut because now they showed you a driverless Uber. Okay, they already had the thing with Domino's when basically they can send a like some type of automatic vehicle to deliver your pizza to you. Because back in the day, you had what they called a pizza delivery man. You get the yellow pages, you know, which is probably like 4,000 pages thick. You get the yellow pages, and then the yellow pages was for business. White pages was for residents, man. You look in the yellow pages and say, if I wanted to order something from Pizza Hut, you'll find a number in there, the closest one to your residence, and then they'll tell you if they deliver in an area, and then they will come and they will bring you pizza. You tip the driver $2-3, man, and he goes to the next delivery. Okay, they don't do that no more. Those days are done. I mean, they still have pizza delivery drivers, of course, but even then, you know, everything is done through an app like Grubhub, or if you go online through the app and order from Pizza Hut, then they'll deliver it for a fee. But now they got Grubhub, they got Uber Eats, you know, all types of shit, man. People are doing these little gig jobs, but even then, they're getting ready to cancel the gig jobs out because people was making a little money working gig jobs if you understood the business of Uber. Like back in 2017, 2018, man, Uber, that shit was business. I mean, it was booming. You know, back when the economy, I mean, it was always bad. The economy was never really good. But back when you was able to stretch the dollar a little bit, you know, you can afford a little thing. Hey, you had people doing Uber at the airport making $1,000 a night, man. Especially like on a Saturday evening when everybody is out. They'll go down to the little party districts. They'll start Uber at 7 o'clock and end at 3 o'clock in the morning. And you damn near bring home $700 a night, man. You know, that ain't bad for a night of working. You know, you're just driving people here and there. And most people that went to clubs and shit, most of them lived in the vicinity anyway, you know, which wasn't too strained on your gas. But it says, neither should there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. So all the people that's putting their faith and their belief in these jobs, man, and these careers, hey, that shit is getting ready to be a thing of the past, man. Okay, only how you're going to be able to work is if you get that MOT to the B. And even then, that's going to be short-lived because there's going to be global chaos as a result of pushing an MOTB on people. Okay, because people, man, they're not going to want to give over their freedoms in order to work some bullshit job. But a lot of people are going to get coerced into doing it because they're not going to want to let go of the system. But it says, neither should there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. And in that day should Egypt be like unto women, and it should be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he's shaking over it. And we're seeing a shake up now in the job markets. Okay, and sooner or later, like I mentioned, there ain't going to be any jobs, man, for anybody to do. Whether you're a cashier at McDonald's, whether you drive an Uber, hell, whether you shoveling snow, whether you working for an apartment complex, whether you driving trucks for the city. And when the city jobs are hit, then that's going to really fuck a lot of people up, because most of the time, most people that live like in the city of Chicago and like Kansas City and, you know, St. Louis, majority of the people are employed by the city. Okay, like most of the people that lives in Kansas City, Missouri, most people that have a job here, a good deal of them are employed. I think fucking the city of Kansas City employ like over 5,000 some residents here. So a lot of people here got city jobs, which is a lucrative service because your tax dollars pay for these positions, man. Whether you in public works or parks and rec, or whether you administrative assistant, whether you're a judge, a firefighter, you know, whatever it may be, whether you were in health work or the health department. When those jobs are cut, then that's when city services pretty much is null and void. Okay, because you can't call 211 no more, 311. Say, well, look, I may need a pothole patched in this side of the side of the city, but nobody's going to be there to dispatch it. You know, like when a stop sign is down, you have nobody to put it up. You're going to have contractors to come out and do it, which is going to charge you an arm and leg to do 5 minutes worth of work. Okay, prime example, putting up a stop sign, it takes 5 minutes. You know, you have the anchor in, you got your hammer, you knock the boat in, bam, grab the pole, put it in there. It's 2 bolts, screw it up. You have it up in 5 minutes. But what happens when nobody's around to do those jobs? Then shit just go haywire. But it says, and in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it should be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he's shaking over it. And the land of Judah should be a terror unto Egypt. And we're seeing that Jake is crashing out, man. Okay, Jake is running in jewelry stores, stealing shit, bodegas, shooting shit up. I mean, Jake is just off the chain out here, man. Okay. Hey, y'all heard about that chick I just mentioned that worked at Walmart, and she stole all the money out the damn drawer. And then when they caught her ass, a stupid ass, she basically threw a hissy fit at him. But yet the cop like, look, we got you on fucking camera. And the crazy part, the bitch still tried to lie about it. Oh, that's my money, you know, you got caught stealing. And then the crazy part about it is they're fucking denying. Here you on camera stealing. They got your face on camera, timestamp. And then they pull the money out your pocket and you still say you didn't do it. Motherfucker, I got you on camera. I'm looking dead at you. That's the proof. You know? But that's the type of spirit. Jake just, it's not accountable. But it says, and everyone that making mention thereof should be afraid in himself because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which ye have determined against it. So this is all the plan of the Heavenly Father, man. Okay, the Lord is getting ready to strike Babylon on all sides. This place is getting ready to be a judgment, a seat of judgment. Okay, because the Lord described in Isaiah 34, it says that these people is going to be like the fat of kidneys and rams and goats, which is basically symbolic of sacrifice. Because when you sacrifice on an altar, what are you doing? You're burning it up, ultimately. You're burning up the sacrifice. A sacrifice made by fire. And that's what you people are going to be into the Most High, man. So America is like a gigantic altar that's getting prepared to be ignited, man. And it's going to start with this economy, because when the economy goes, that's when people are just going to lose it because they have nothing to live for anymore. Okay, they're going to realize all the work they've done and put into this system was nothing but a big hoax. And basically they did a lot for nothing. Okay, according to Haggai, it says, hey, I think it's Haggai, the first chapter, when it's like you basically put it's basically like you putting the money in a bag with holes in it, you know? Like my grandmother had a saying, she said, money goes like water. The minute you get it, it's done, it's gone. And it makes a lot of sense now because the minute you get your money, you got to pay 80% on bills. And that's just how it is, because that's how wicked Esau set the system up. All right. I second Ezra 16, and I'm gonna start at verses. Let's start at verses 41. It says, "He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose, and he that occupieth merchandise as he that have no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that should not dwell therein, and he that soweth as he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard as he that should not gather the grapes. And they that marry as they that should get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. Therefore they that labor in vain." So it's all vanity at the end of the day. It all equates to nothing. All the money, all the IRA accounts and shit, man, the trust accounts that we all set up to try to reserve some type of semblance of a future. At the end of the day, it ain't going to equate to a damn thing once the Lord really puts his hand on this place. All right. But anyway, I'm going to end it giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will you edify. To the next lesson. Shalom.